Stop reading for a second and pay attention to the floor under your feet. Nothing happened. No effort, no checking, no decision. Your brain settled that question years ago, and it is not asking again right now. Every single step you take, every time you stand up, every glance across a room rests on one assumption your brain never bothers to test. But the floor is not a fact. It is a bet. And when the bet fails, it fails everywhere at once. Your legs stop taking instructions. The walls you have walked past 1,000 times become things that can fall on you. Your own sense of which way is down goes quiet. And the first thing your brain does about all of it is nothing. A magnitude 7 earthquake gives you 20 to 30 seconds of strong shaking. That is the entire event. And in those 20 seconds, your brain runs a sequence it has never shown you, in an order you did not choose, and each step in that sequence causes the next one. This isn't panic. This is a system doing 4 things in order. Here's the thing about that order. It explains almost everything people find strange about their own earthquakes afterwards. Your brain does not sense the world. It predicts it, then checks the prediction against the senses, and only speaks up when something disagrees. For the ground, it has 3 separate reporters. Deep inside each ear sit 3 fluid-filled loops set at right angles, the vestibular system, and they register every tilt and acceleration of your head. Your eyes report whether the world holds still. The pressure sensors in the soles of your feet report where your weight is. Now, here's what makes this interesting. When all 3 of those reporters agree with each other, the model goes quiet. And quiet is the one thing you never notice because it feels like nothing at all. That silence is the system working perfectly. The ground is not something you perceive. It is the thing everything else gets measured against. If you're curious what happens when that same balance system misfires as you fall asleep, I made a whole video about that on this channel. It's worth a look. Now put yourself in the room when it starts. Your eyes say the room is moving. Your ears say your head is moving. Your feet say your weight is in the wrong place. 3 reporters, 3 stories, and no way to know which one is lying. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. There's a lot more of this coming. But here's where it gets interesting. What does a human body actually do in the first moment of threat, before any decision has been made? Not what people say they would do, what the body does, measured. In 2010, at a university in Nijmegen in the Netherlands, Karin Roelofs and 2 colleagues asked 50 people to stand still on a metal plate. The plate measured the tiny constant sway that everyone standing has and nobody feels. In front of them, a screen showed one face at a time: angry, happy, neutral. Nobody was in danger. When the angry face came up, the sway dropped. People got measurably stiller, not tense, not braced, stiller. And at the same moment, their hearts slowed down, not faster, slower. A face on a screen, and a body that had already changed state before anyone in that room had decided anything. Freezing is not the absence of a response. It is a response, and it runs on its own schedule, ahead of anything you would call a choice. And the thing that produced it was a photograph of a face. So think about what a moving floor does to the same machinery. Going still is not the end of what your brain does in those seconds. It is the beginning. So far, the body goes still before you have chosen anything. That still doesn't explain the part everyone reports afterwards, that it went on, far longer than the clock says it did. And here's where the story turns. Does time actually slow down when you are frightened, or does it only feel that way once it is over? For years, that was untestable. You cannot properly frighten someone in a laboratory. So in 2007, in Dallas, Texas, Chad Stetson and David Eagleman took 19 people to an amusement park tower and dropped them off the back of a platform 46 meters up. They fell 31 meters into a net, 2.5 seconds. Strapped to each forearm was a small screen flashing digits, flickering just fast enough to be unreadable. If fear really slowed time, the digits should become readable. They did not. Not for one person. Every one of them read that screen exactly as badly in midair as on the ground. But then the researchers asked them how long the fall had taken, and their own fall came out 36% longer than the identical fall they had just watched somebody else take. Time did not slow down. The density of the recording changed. Your sense of how long something lasted is built afterwards, out of how much got written down. So the length of an earthquake in your memory is not a measurement of the earthquake. It is a measurement of how hard your brain was writing while it happened. And that machinery does not switch off when the ground stops moving. The shaking stops. And here's the part nobody warns you about. The model that broke has to be rebuilt. And the only way your brain knows how to rebuild it is by turning up the gain on every single thing that reports the ground. You can check this yourself. It takes about 10 seconds. Stand up, put your feet together, and close your eyes. Wait. You will feel yourself drifting. Correcting. Drifting again. Nothing in the room moved. You just took one of the 3 reporters offline and the other 2 started arguing. Now imagine doing that with the ground itself under suspicion. In Japan, where large earthquakes are common enough to have produced a word for it, people call it Jishinyoy, earthquake drunk. For days and weeks afterwards, people feel the floor sway when instruments say the floor is perfectly still. After the 2011 earthquake, it got a clinical name because it arrived in enough people at once to need one. A passing truck reads as an aftershock. A tall building doing what tall buildings do reads as an aftershock. Sometimes nothing reads as an aftershock, and the swaying comes anyway. Think about that for a second. This isn't damage. This is a system that has been told the ground is negotiable and cannot go back to not knowing. So here's the thing about all four. The model that failed you is the same model that lets you cross a room without thinking about it. The stillness that stopped you moving is the state your body enters before it knows enough to act. The stretched time is a recording made at higher resolution. And the swaying afterwards is a balance system that has stopped taking the ground for granted. This isn't a brain being overwhelmed. This is a brain doing exactly the job it was built for at the worst possible moment to watch it happen. So here's the full picture. Your brain runs the ground as an assumption it never checks. The assumption breaks and your body goes still before you have decided anything. While you are still, the recording runs dense, and that density becomes the 20 seconds that felt like 2 minutes. And when it is over, the system that took the ground on trust will not do that again for a while. And right now, you are doing it. Sitting there, you are not monitoring the floor, not checking the walls, not calculating which way is down. 3 reporters agree, and their agreement is so complete that it feels like nothing at all. It has been running the whole time you have been reading this. The ground was never solid. You were just never told.